Hey guys, so yeah, Thunder's secret project is a nerfed Heliopolis, something that I initially did not see coming, given that I didn't think Mindcap really wanted a top 1, but looking back, it was kind of the only level he could play that there was evidence to suggest him being the verifier. Anyway, with this reveal, we now have players actively verifying 5 different upcoming top 1s. This almost seems unprecedented in the GD community, especially considering how difficult a top 1 has to be these days. But anyway, I thought I'd dip my toes into the water once more to make yet another wildly inaccurate prediction video, because why not? If you haven't heard about all these levels, here's a quick summary. Trick is verifying a crystal themed top 1 called Amethyst, Doggy is verifying a remake of an old impossible level called Grief, W Popoff is verifying a Terraria Calamity mod themed top 1 called Vehemence, Cientos is verifying a 7-minute long top 1 called FLAMEWALL, which uses a song by the same name by Camellia, who is a very popular artist in the rhythm game community. And of course, Thunder now is verifying Heliopolis, a level themed around a sunless city, featuring slow and precise timing gameplay. I think it's safe to say these will be the next 5 rated levels that place above Tidal Wave. Anyway, the general order of difficulty of these levels seems to be FLAMEWALL as the easiest, then Amethyst and Grief on pretty equal terms of difficulty, and then Vehemence and Heliopolis just being like miles harder than everything else. Today I'm going to try to predict when and in what order these levels will be verified, and when we can expect to see them all on the list. Now note that this is based off of like very little evidence, so I will probably be very far off, but I guess I'm just making this video to make a prediction and either see it do shockingly well or fail spectacularly, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, let's just get into the amazing, totally accurate predictions. First, even though a lot of people may not like it, Amethyst will be verified. Right now, Trick expects to finish it sometime around early December, which right now is only a couple weeks away. I think he should be able to pull it off though, considering he's progressed from 41% to 61% in almost 2 weeks since he started streaming again. Also, Amethyst basically ends at 80%, so he actually has a lot less ground to cover than someone like Doggy, who technically has farther progress than him, but it's only by like 7%, and he didn't progress for a whole month. So it's, yeah, I think the argument against Trick being the first to verify his top 1 is hard to make. Anyway, just for the sake of seeing if I can guess a random date, let's say Trick verifies Amethyst on December 14th, and it gets placed on the demon list on January 24th, 2025. After Trick, it becomes really hard to predict verifications because for each verifier, it's either hard to predict whether they'll actually play the level, or hard to predict if they'll progress anytime soon. Though I think the safest option would probably be Grief. Doggy said in his last progress update that we can probably expect the verification in early 2025. While his predictions before have been wrong, and that prediction itself is pushed back from when he initially thought he'd beat it, I think January is still a pretty safe guess for when he'll be able to complete the remaining 38% of the level. He is definitely the most consistent verifier of any of the players so far, so let's say he beats Grief on January 10th, 2025. Sadly, Doggy is verifying the level with CBF, which means Rob Top won't rate Grief. Though we can somewhat well predict the verification, I don't think anybody knows when or even if Grief will ever be top 1, but I imagine Doggy would probably try to re-verify it without CBF, because I honestly don't think Rob Top will budge before or after Grief gets verified. Most likely, around the same time, we can expect a Vehemence verification. W Pop-Up has been extremely sporadic with this level, and it's almost impossible to guess when he'll even play it, let alone verify it. I do think that he might have extra time during winter break towards the end of December, and he might be able to finally sink some time into the verification then, but honestly, I have no idea what'll happen here. I think it would be really interesting if W Popoff pulled the firework though, and beats it pretty much the same week as Doggy. So let's say it gets verified on like January 15th, 2025, and is placed on the demon list on February 26th, 2025. Just between you and me though, I'd expect a February or later verification just because W Popoff seems to really have trouble figuring out how to keep a promise. Now for the wildcard, FLAMEWALL. I haven't really followed FLAMEWALL's verification nearly as closely as I have the other upcoming top 1s, and I don't really know whether the second half of the level is easier than the first or whether it'll be easier for Cientos to progress through that part. So although he's made really good headway from 0 and has the best run to 100 of any top 1 verifier, this information has gone largely unchanged since the last time I talked about him, which is almost a month ago. He's also statistically the lowest skill top 1 verifier, which makes it hard to rely on constant progress. He still hasn't matched 1 alpha's progress from 0, so it's hard to say if he'll be able to make any progress soon, and hard to say whether he'll drop it or not. I think we can expect a January or February verification of this level, and although it hurts me to say it, it'll probably come after all the other levels being verified, so I think I'm just going to play it super safe and say a February 26th verification. For Heliopolis, I don't really know what will happen because on one hand, thnnder is incredibly talented and beat a top 6 in like 3 days, but on the other hand, he's been playing this level for 3 months and all he has to show for it is 60 to 100. Which in general is chump change if a level's difficulty is even remotely balanced. I might be completely wrong about how much of a progress 60 to 100 is, but I think the idea with thnder's verification anyway is to not have to worry about when it gets verified because he believes it's just so much harder than everything else. I think we could expect a late January verification at the very earliest, and a late April verification at the latest with thnnder. Again, just for the sake of giving a really safe guess, let's say Heliopolis will be beaten on March 27th, 2025, and placed by June 1st, 2025. Anyway, yeah, however this plays out, we can almost certainly expect Tidal Wave to be out of the top 5 by this time next year, which is just insane. I can't even fathom people outside of the top 5 beating any of these levels, but good luck to anyone who tries, of course, once they're finally released to the public. People like Trick believe we're reaching our skill ceiling, which might be right, but I think the GD community at least has a couple years of top 1s left in store. But yeah, that's what I think will happen roughly with the verifications. I'd say it's very likely that Amethyst is first, somewhat likely that Grief is second, and then Vehemence might be third or second, and then I don't know what will happen with Heliopolis and FLAMEWALL, to be completely honest, but yeah, that's the summary pretty much. Anyway, thank you for watching. I swear I'm working on the 2K video. I just wanted to get something out this weekend so I don't have a huge drought of videos again, and I thought this was interesting to talk about. But anyway, yeah, take care and have a good rest of your day.